Okay guys, another short video on little tips and tricks. I agree that this glue kind of can act as a sound deadener. I'm using a 3M 90 low VOC spray adhesive, but I was being pretty, conservative with it, just because it's messy and sticky. As you can see, it's all over, gets on stuff. But I'm going to put a headliner in this. I think, well, cross my fingers, I think I found a factory headliner for this 170, which wraps around. If you've seen them, they come down like this, like the crew vans or passenger vans, and it comes down to this point. So that'll be nice to lay over this if it fits over the Thinsulate. Anyway, I just was finishing up this wall, and as you can see, you cut them a little long so you can kind of flare them out like this, and I glue them to that. And the glue, if you can, it's hard to get them in there. I kind of fit them and stick them in there, and then I peel it back and shoot the glue up in the crevices and then jam it in there. And I've been like using a tool to shove it up in there, a little aluminum strip, which you can see here. I've had multiple tools, and I'm kind of just filling some of this dead air space. I don't think you're supposed to compress this stuff. I think you're supposed to kind of let it air out and fluff up, but I don't mind a little bit more density because it still traps air, and it still maybe does a little more sound deadening, I'm hoping. I'm in Florida. I'm back in Florida now after being in upstate New York, trying to take advantage of the cooler weather up there, but I ran out of Thinsulate, as I mentioned. I had to buy another 15 feet. So overall, for this 170 Sprinter with the crew windows, you can see here, I've purchased 75 lineal feet, which I believe is 375 square feet. So these are all done behind these panels. I've been trying to get into all these crevices. Now I got to still do the back doors, and those are going to be a little tricky because there's a lot of little threading. I got to thread this beam too here. I got to get inside here and try to glue it to this top to protect the heat coming in from the ceiling and so forth. So it is tricky, but the ride home from New York to Florida was a lot better sound wise because I pounded the stuff into the sliding door, which was an echo chamber. I didn't even have the plastic paneling up, as you can see up here. But yeah, it helped a lot on the way home. I could hear the radio better, talk on the phone better, hear yourself think better. But it has a ways to go yet. I'm thinking about tearing up the front mats up under the cabin floor and putting a little more of that, sticky foil back stuff, the sound deadening material, which I have a link to. And then I'm also going to be putting a sound system in this thing. And so I'm going to tear the doors off and thoroughly insulate them with sound deadening and Thinsulate so the sound system sounds better. And I think that'll kill a lot more of the road noise in the cabin area. But when I get the headliner, that should help absorb a lot and really block the heat. Now, this is a huge heat saver. I mean, if I touch the roof now in South Florida, it's like 90 degrees out. Ouch. It is a smoking, burning feeling. And here, oh, it's beautiful. So much better. When I get this factory headliner in here, I'll have another layer of material trapping heat into the roof and not radiating it down into my cabin area and onto my head. So that should help a lot. I got to thread these cavities too. These are kind of tougher cavities to do because you got to get the adhesive in there. They're pretty deep. And I think I'll throw a little more sound deadening in these rear doors. But so far it's going pretty well. I think I told you guys already, I Thinsulated these. And then I've got to get some plugs or burn some holes in these plugs here, plug holes, because they didn't line up perfectly. So coming along, I only went through 3 cans of adhesive, but I'm probably going to need another one. So that would be 4 cans total. And I've been very thorough. Again, I was a little light on the adhesive, but I would recommend trying to coat the whole surface if you can. The only problem is, like I said, it's so messy, and once it grabs this stuff, it's hard to shove it into all the way up. I'm trying to shove it all the way up into that crevice to block the heat from leaking back down. Hopefully I'll overlap this. I might even put some adhesive on that to overlap that and prevent more heat from bleeding down, because you can feel the hot pockets, like the heat bleeds in through these cracks if you don't have it blocked. That's why I've been blocking these little things with air traps. And I do put a little adhesive on there and then try to fluff it out so it air traps it. So huge help. Oh, a trick for getting the rivets into these holes, since I covered these beams, soldering iron, a straight stick soldering iron. It burns a hole straight in it, but don't go burying it in and burn your strips inside. Just figure out your depth, burn your hole clean, and then you'll be able to put a plug in there to put your headliner up, and that helps a lot. All right, I hope this helps you guys. Talk to you later. There's my extra 15-foot by 5-foot chunk I just got in the mail, free shipping. And a yardstick is great, and like I said again, killer scissors. All right, guys, enjoy. It is a lot of work, man. Don't kid yourself on YouTube channels that make it look like, oh yeah, I knocked it out in a day. Well, I don't know if they did every nook and cranny like I did, number one, because I'm using, again, 375 square feet, number one. Number two, I don't know if they're adhesiving it in there well. I don't know if they're overlapping it well. Getting every nook and cranny, like I said. So it's a lot of work. I mean, you could buy the pre-cut kit. That may help speed it up. You pay a little extra for it, and I almost did that. But I'm a nook and cranny guy, and I want to kill the sound in this thing. I want it to sound like a Mercedes for once. And then so you're going to consume a lot more of it, and you need, if you bought the custom cut kit, you would probably have to buy that plus additional maybe 15 lineal feet or 30 lineal feet for nooks and crannies and extracurricular threading. All right, hope that helps you guys. Take care.